It's not too often that I admit that I have been proven wrong, but this is definitely one of those cases. Hello, fellow Aussians, and welcome to the channel. So, the other day, I went out and saw the new Universal Pictures film, Wicked, based on the Broadway play that in turn was based on the Gregory Maguire book, Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, just as a full disclaimer, before I went out and saw this film, I had never really had a positive look on Wicked. Part of that is from my experience with the book and the play. Now, I have never seen the Broadway version performed at all. And as far as the book is concerned, many years ago when the play came out, I was in either junior high, high school, around that time. And I was told by classmates that I should read the book. So I got a copy from a friend of mine, and I couldn't get past chapter 1. This book was a complete DNF for me. I thought the book was really boring. It did not capture my attention. It did nothing for me. So, you've got that going on. And this is many years ago that went down. Coupled with I've never seen the play. I've only heard some of the songs outside of the context of the musical and didn't really understand what their function was in it, so I didn't get it. So with all of that in mind, I put all of that aside when I went to see this film. And I gotta tell you, I was completely proven wrong by just my, at least, thoughts as far as what I thought this thing was versus what it is. Because it's really good. This is by far one of the best musicals I have seen in a really long time. A really, really long time. As far as modern musical movies go, this is definitely, by far, if not one of the best that I've ever seen for modern movies. One of the things that I have found a little bit troublesome with this whole topic of Wicked was its depiction of the good characters versus Elphaba. And what I mean by that is Glinda, Dorothy, so forth and so on. And for years, I almost feel like I was misled by how people described Wicked to me, because what I saw on screen was not what I was told. So we have our two leads, which is Glinda and Elphaba, and I thought there was going to be some kind of power dynamic where one is better, one is worse, kind of scenario. I almost wondered if class was going to be a part of this, since I did know that Glinda was a privileged, rich, spoiled kid. And I wondered if that would be a part of this, and that, Elphaba was from a non-rich family, all this kind of stuff. I wondered if that would be part of this, and no, that's not part of this at all. That was shocking. The two characters are treated, as far as how powerful their personalities are, equally. They're both strong in their own way. It's not that they're the same character, but that they're both strong on the same path. And at the end of the film is when that ultimate decision is made and they go their separate ways. And that was extremely satisfying to watch. I gotta tell you, I was there for the ride and totally on board for this thing. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. I had no clue that this is what the play was gonna do. Because I've gotta say that this play is not a simple thing of, oh, Elphaba bad, Glinda good. Or the other way around. Elphaba good, Glinda bad. This is not that simple. This whole thing is so multi-layered with what is going on, with why these characters are acting this way, why they're treating people this way. It was, like I said, really interesting and just great to watch. So let's throw out a scenario, if you will. Let's say that you might think that Glinda is a raging narcissist. You are half right. Glinda does have narcissistic tendencies. She is definitely self-absorbed, and she's definitely interested in status. But she does change throughout this film, which is something that narcissists don't do. Glinda definitely becomes a better character as a result of befriending Elphaba and knowing Elphaba. And I really liked that arc. I really did. I also liked Elphaba's arc. I thought that was another really great arc. The music. One of the major things that just never made sense to me was having both of the leads be sopranos. I never understood why we would have two people harmonizing with each other and they are the same part. That didn't make any sense to me for years. But now that I have seen the movie and I've experienced the music in context of the play, I now get it. I completely get it. Like what I said before, the music also backs up the idea that these two leading ladies are equal because they're both soprano. And it was so amazing to see Defying Gravity where they both came together and the harmonizing begins, and it was just like, well, okay, movie. I mean, I just have been totally proven, wrong about this whole thing. Yeah, it was that good. It's that good. It's that good. The casting in this movie is practically perfect. When Ariana Grande was announced that she was going to be playing Glinda, I thought, full stop, that this was just stunt casting. If you were to play the soundtrack of this movie version of Wicked and tell me that that was Ariana Grande singing, I would probably not believe you unless I'd seen it in the film. Because she's really good. Cynthia Erivo? There was applauses there was applauses in our audience throughout the film. Oh my gosh. Her performance, the singing, the acting, just, girl, it was good. It was so good. I don't know why this lady has not had more parts. I hope she gets so much after this film because she's so good. Now, as far as this movie in the greater Oz world, this movie does suffer from the same fate that all other The Wizard of Oz from MGM suffer from, in that it doesn't exactly correlate with that film, which is what, of course, every single Wizard of Oz movie has had to suffer with since the 1939 MGM film. But it does a great job a great job at navigating that and making it so that you actually don't care. Like, I am so shocked that this movie, it does so many different things. And one of the things that it does so well is making sure that it teeters on that we are going to include MGM, but we're also doing our thing. And then they also included other elements from the L. Frank Baum books. I will leave that for you to discover when you see the film. And I was shocked by just how well it incorporates all of those things together in a very harmonious way that is not only new and inventive, but also playing homage. When they got to the Emerald City part was really when this thought process was coming through my head, and I was like, wow, is this how we should do Wizard of Oz movies? Comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on this one if you've seen the film. As far as how this movie treats everything. I wonder about that. So, if you are someone that loves the MGM film, and maybe you're concerned, you have never seen Wicked, and maybe you're concerned that this is going to taint the legacy of that film, I can reassure you, this movie is not going to do that. This movie does the exact opposite of that. This movie makes you want to go out and rewatch the MGM film. This film is probably the best Wizard of Oz film that we have had since Return to Oz. As far as what this movie is doing, what this movie accomplishes, I have no problems with anything on screen. No problems. I'm like, yep, yeah, that's... No notes. Now, since I have not seen the play, I do not know how the play ends. So, number one, no spoilers. Number two, I am very excited for part two. Cannot wait. And I definitely need to go out and see this film again in theaters. I would highly recommend you see it in theaters. It is definitely well worth seeing in theaters. And did you go out and see Wicked? What are your feelings on the movie? Did you see the original Broadway play? And how do you feel about the play versus the movie? Very curious to hear your comments down below. And let's bring on Wicked Part 2. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.